Hello everyone and welcome to Bevins Bricks. I'm Daryl, and today's video, it's one that I think a lot of people have been waiting for, and that is a huge city update. So if this is something that interests you, stick around because it's coming up. Now let's jump in. As many of you know, I have had my runway lit up for a while, and this was doing my own custom lighting and my own custom design. But what a lot of you have seen me working on recently is I also now have my actual airport illuminated as well. And I am going to be turning the lights off, but I want to kind of quickly touch on, show you, and look at several things I'm doing around the city. One of the things I can tell you, I still got to put minifigs in it, is I do have the tower even illuminated, and I even have an obstruction light up on top of it. And as you can see, I have all the ramp lights lit up as well. One of the things I did focus on while I had that pulled all apart, though, was the sidewalks and such in the front of the airport. I never had them fully, or I shouldn't say fully sidewalked in. I never had them fully tiled in. So I took advantage of that, and I actually went through and tiled all of my sidewalks. And as you can see, even the front entrance is illuminated in that building. But what a difference just tiling it out makes. Mind you, I still have to populate it and put minifigs everywhere, and I still have to put this back in and across. Part of my reasoning for holding out on this still, obviously there's no lights inside of it, but I'm wondering which direction I should light it from. As I currently illuminated my entire airport with Bricks Max lights. Just to show you what I mean, this is a lot of the bags that I use to illuminate my airport. And let me tell you, which I'm going to make a review video on these products and explain them in more detail. But that was a very, very expensive build. As illuminating my airport, it took me over 46 LED lights. I used 10 different jumper packs that they sell, 4s, 6s, and 8s, and some extension wires. Anyway, though, the total cost just for lighting up that portion of the airport, and like I said, I will come back to that. The total cost of that, though, was right around $220, and that was on a half-off sale. And like I said, I will review Bricks Max at a later date, but I'm going to tell you right now, they're not my favorite. But anyway, let's move on to the rest of the city. Again, I haven't pulled any of this apart over here, so none of this has been tiled, but just trying to give you guys a good bird's eye view and trying to give you that minifig view that I like to do so much. And excuse the jerkiness of the camera. There's still a lot over here that I need to finish. I need to finish putting the interior on my brick bank. I actually am debating on putting one more floor on this building, and I still need to put the roof on that building. The apartment complex that I have over here, I'm sure you can see I do have the first floor fully finished and everything installed, but I've never done anything to the other 2 floors, and that is a project I'm going to want to come back to at a later date. My brown building is fully finished inside and out. This building is only finished on the exterior, and it is also missing the roof. I love to add roof details. I just have not had time to do it yet, especially with me starting with the lighting project, because what I'm looking at doing now is, since I've already started with all the lighting down at this end of the table, I'm going to slowly work my way this way with lighting everything. After I'm finished with the airport and my Avengers Tower, I want to come back and start with that building, and then I'm going to do these 3 buildings with lights, which is going to be an expensive project, but I think it's going to look amazing once I do it. Now let's come over to the disaster zone of my city. And since I have it sitting here, I just want to point out this build, the electrical pylons, are now for sale, the instructions anyway, if you are interested in those, on my Rebrickable page, along with a ton of other great mocks, like this construction sign and the barrels and all that are all on my Rebrickable. And I want to point out that those are actually free to download. But anyway, the reason that I'm over here and what I want to show you is this right here. I have started work on the ramps. I just haven't come back to it yet. But this is my initial thought process on how I'm going to do an on and off ramp on both sides. So as you can see, that gives you a nice smooth slope to come down. And now I want to take another slope and bring it all the way up and come into this side. And I want to put an on and an off ramp on the other side as well. Doing this, it's going to create a ton of work. And yes, I will be putting details under the highway and all that good stuff. But it's like with any build and with anything that I'm doing, it takes a considerable amount of time. But it's time that I think this is going to be well spent, because I think once this is actually finished with the ramps and everything, this is going to be one amazing, and I mean amazing looking highway. At least I'm pretty happy with the process on it so far. Trying to come back and around over here, you guys are already familiar with my train station, and just giving you a quick peek inside of it. It is still fully finished, fully furnished, and fully stocked with minifigs. I still have to place these two buildings, but I won't place those two buildings until I get some of this area over here done. I started on the roads. I need to figure out and lay out some of the base plates around the road system, and then figure out how I want to place some of the buildings over here. There's quite a bit to do. And again, because I've been focusing so much on my Avengers Tower, and then also recently on my airport lighting, I just haven't done anything over here. And it's funny because I forgot to put the roof back on my convention center. So as you guys can see, let's do a quick sky view of that as well. You can see this thing is just stock full. But I can't wait to get back over to this area of the city and start adding street lights and details and just all the fun stuff. Back here obviously will not have any lighting, but there will be lighting emitting from these buildings once I actually get them fully illuminated. Now, since we've been kind of looking at all this, and again, I just wanted to give you kind of a bird's eye view of those buildings, because man, do I love how they look. It's just so amazing looking. But anyway, let's turn the lights off and have a look at what that airport looks like. And here we go. Lights are off, and you can see this bad boy in its full detail. I am extremely impressed with how this has turned out. And there's still a lot more lighting to come, because I have the bus stops and street lights and all that out here I still need to do. But man, is this so cool, because now I can come down and I can literally look inside the airport and see the escalators and other details. And it just, to me, it looks so good that I can't wait to do a ton more work on this bad boy to get this portion of the table lit up. I just think it's going to really be wow. Again, trying to show you the inside of the terminal, because you can see all the way through and down now. It is fully lit up. So you can see that there's minifigs and everything throughout the inside of that entire building. And there's people waiting at the gates. And then again, you can see it because of how well it's illuminated. Now, keep in mind, there is still details I have to add. This to me is the maintenance workers on the roof doing some work on one of the rooftop air conditioning units. I still need to put some of the tower control people inside of the tower. And I know it's a little bit hard to film with the lights off. The camera doesn't want to adjust so well, so bear with me on that. And I do have a light, and here's a problem. And again, I was talking about the Bricks Max lights. This is what I'm talking about. I had all the lights working and fixed, but you can see that I have another one that's out right now. And it's because I'm really not happy with the plugs on them. The size of them is great, but they're not a soldered connection. And they pop apart real easy. But anyway, I will get back and fix that particular light. But I'm trying to give you guys an amazing looking view, because to me this just looks so absolutely real. I'm going to be adding lights to at least one or two of the planes as my plans anyway. Definitely going to be adding lights to the planes out here. I still have to do the taxiway lights that are on the edges out here. But as you can see, I do still have the runway lights going. So to kind of come back and give you a bird's eye view, the city just is starting to really come alive. And to me, look very realistic with all the lighting I have installed. So I'm very excited about doing this. Keep in mind it's going to be outrageously expensive, but I'm very excited to do this, and to do this to my entire table, because man, does it just make it absolutely come alive. I just absolutely love it. Trying to take a minute to get up close with the camera slowly so you can see it in better detail, because the lights I use over here are actually quite bright. They have very high intensity, so it's easier for the camera to keep focused. And man, is that just a beautiful view. I am just extremely, and I mean extremely pleased with how it's turned out. And I am going to slowly come back to the front one more time. And yes, I still have a ton of lighting to add, but man, does this look so cool in here at night. I'm trying to give you a kind of a bird's eye view. Just imagine yourself on an airplane coming towards the city, and this is exactly what you'd see, is all those lights everywhere. I mean, is that just not cool or what? Again, much better with the lights on because the camera focus is a lot easier. But my intention from this point out, just to give you guys an idea, when I am doing the lighting, I intend on doing it all with Brick Loot. Because now that I've discovered their products and all the amazing new products that they have, I am hooked. And I am just trying to give you guys a couple different bird's eye views. Because to me, the bird's eye views really speak a lot of the city. Because that is my whole aspect, my whole point in everything that I do, is to try and give you a realistic feel and look of a city in any angle. And it's it's a lot more challenging, I think, than people really realize. And anyway, that is all for this video. So as always, thank you for coming to Bevins Bricks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share below, and hopefully we'll see you next time on Bevins Bricks.